So if you're trading the NAS100 market this week, it's going to be really interesting, especially because when we look at this weekly time frame, we can see that the candle closed a kind of a weak bearish candle, but it'll be interesting to see what price could potentially do. And we will talk about that in this video, going over my entries, my exits, and my profit target zones for the NAS100 market this upcoming week. Now, if you've been trading on your own, still can't put the pieces together in terms of finding confident entries, managing your trades, and then also exiting with as much money as possible, then you definitely want to check out the Profitable Traders Academy. This is basically getting my hands-on help and my implementation system that I'll be sharing with you inside of the Profitable Traders Academy. So that way you can be confident and consistent inside of the markets like it has done for so many people inside of the Profitable Traders Academy. Here's all the things that you will get, especially this has been super helpful for people, and this, all of it. And then you get access to me all of these different ways. And then this is pricing that will change in a couple of days, at least at this point when I'm filming this video. So it may be different by the time you see it. It may be this or maybe something different, but you can see all of the different ways that I help people and helping them become much better and consistent traders. So go ahead and check that out. The link is in the description box below. So now that we're here on the NAS100 market, like I said, on this weekly time frame, we do see this week bullish candle because it has a really small body. I'm going to call out these levels, and I'm going to do it on the daily time frame because it's going to be a lot easier for us to look at these levels here versus squinting on the weekly time frame. So let's just start from the top. We have the top level at 23,986. Then we have this level right here where it tapped into perfectly based on the analysis from last week here at 23,710. And then we also have another level here at 23,749. The next level is going to be at 23,415. And then this yellow level here is going to be around 23,326. And then next we have this level here at 23,227. And then we do have a little level here. I will break that down on a smaller time frame because I did draw that last week because of some things that showed up. And next we have this level here, yellow level at 22,900 and let's say 929, really close to 30. And then next we do have the level at 22,715. I'm not going any further, even though I do have stuff marked up because price hasn't gotten there. But what we do want to focus on here on this daily time frame, this candle closed a really strong bearish engulfing candle. And then we did have price push up from last Friday. We already talked about that in last week's video, but we do see that it chopped around a bit before buying and then selling. So let's go ahead and go to the H4 time frame so we can make some more sense of this. We can see that price is lining up quite nicely with our levels. So I only want to focus on price action from this past week. So what I'll be doing is looking at this candle from Friday. It was really strong. Actually, let me get rid of that. That was something I marked up for people inside of the Profitable Traders Academy. And looking at this price action here, buying, selling. So what I want to do is I want to move this level here and I want to move it up just a tad bit, just so that way it's in alignment with the resistance that was formed. And that is now at 23,720, a nice round psychological number. Sold off quite a bit and then landed at this support here. Probably not a coincidence. We will get into that on a lower time frame. So this time frame for the most part is looking good. Let's go to the H2 time frame. So now that we can see price action a bit more clearly here, there's nothing really that I would want to change, possibly this, but I think it's in a good spot right now. And this is actually in a really good spot as well. Maybe I do want to just a line right here. And this line is at 23,368, mainly because price did tap into this key zone, but it did form a support here and it's been maintaining that support. So the fact that it has maintained it for several different moments this past week, I want to make sure that I mark it off. So let's go ahead and go down to the H1 time frame so that way we can talk about price before we get into our game plan. So everything else is pretty much lining up quite nicely. I had to zoom in quite a bit bit, but there is one thing that I do want to adjust. So this resistance level that I adjusted on the last time frame, I'm once again going to push it up so that way it's in alignment. And now it is sitting at 23,743. So it didn't move all that much, but it was significant enough for me to want to move my level. So now I have some really clean zones here, and we do see this level that has been respected. I could keep it there, or I can move it down just a little bit. Actually, I'll move it down just a little bit. So now it's sitting at 23,361. So I like this so far. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And the first thing that I see here is I see this really obvious resistance point right here at 23,620. So what I'd be looking for is that level. And then I also be looking for another level that's down here, another resistance point here. And this is at 23,431. And basically, before I consider a buy, of course, I would want to see what price is going to do in this zone. So one thing I see that's super obvious to me is for price to come down to this key level at 23,327 and then bounce up once more up to maybe this previous area and then potentially go up here. So before I look for any buys, I would want to definitely see price respect this level and not go any further. I want to see it respect this level and then possibly push up, because I noticed that with a lot of markets, price tend to do that. And let's go ahead and measure this move right here. So this is going to go from here to here. So 187 points inside of the market. Definitely not bad. Definitely really nice for NAS100 for sure. And then once again, let me just go ahead and draw that path that I was looking for before. So down here and then going up here. So that's going to be the path that I'll look for the market to go in. And then of course, price could just push right up. We've seen that happen on Sunday. So at least Sunday in the US, and price could start around here and then go up to here. And then of course, if price does continue to push, I would target this previous high for about 309 points. And that is going to be right there at 23,743 zone. So that would be something that I would target here inside of this market just to be a bit safe. Of course, price could continue to push up to this other level here, but there would have to be some major news catalyst or something that happens next week that will push price that far. So right now, I'm just focusing my efforts inside of here. And then of course, if price did push down to the downside below this key level, then I would be looking for price to go from this yellow level all the way down to 23,228 for a 95 point move. And then of course, let's move our chart up, looking over to the left, extending this line a bit. I would be looking for price to continue to push down to this level. And this is 255 points right here at 23,069. Mainly just looking left to prior market structure. Just because it did this in the past doesn't mean it's going to do it in the future, but there's a possibility. So that's what I like to trade off of, possibilities for sure. And then let's just say it didn't respect that and it went down to this yellow level of 22,930. Then that would be another level that I would target for sure. So this is my analysis here on the NAS100 market. And if you want me to personally guide you through trades like this, then definitely go ahead and check out the Profitable Traders Academy. You can find the link in the description box below, because it's going to be the best way for you to get my direct help, direct feedback on your charts and also your trades, and show you what you could have possibly done different inside of the trade in order to help you be more successful in future trades. So go ahead and check that out. And if you want to see more amazing content on this channel, make sure that you subscribe, because currently I'm posting videos 3 times per week. That's Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday on this channel. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe and don't miss any of those amazing videos. And definitely check out some of the videos here that you see on the screen right now. I'll see you there.